Israel declared independence on May 14, 1948. 2 weeks later, 5 Arab armies invaded. The Israeli Air Force had no jets, no arsenal, and no time. What it had was desperation and whatever aircraft it could smuggle, steal, or buy. First up, the Avia S-199. Czechoslovakia, 1948. A crude wartime leftover powered by a mismatched engine never designed for this airframe, making it unstable, dangerous, and notoriously difficult to fly. Israel purchased 25 in desperation, smuggling them piece by piece. Yet this machine flew Israel's very first air-to-air combat missions, unreliable and lethal to its own pilots, but it bought Israel time. Next, the Supermarine Spitfire Mk.IX. Written 1948. Israel acquired roughly 60 examples through covert channels across Europe, stripping them from surplus WW2 stocks. Top speed 408 miles per hour. Single Merlin engine, 4 machine guns, 2 20mm cannons. The Spitfire gave Israel its first real air combat capability, downing Arab aircraft in the 1948 War of Independence. A WW2 legend repurposed for a brand new nation's survival. Then came the North American P-51D Mustang. United States, 1948. Israel covertly acquired roughly 30 examples, smuggling airframes out of American surplus depots. Top speed 437 mph. Single Packard Merlin V1650 engine producing 1,490 horsepower, 6.50 caliber machine guns. Exceptional range made it ideal for ground attack and escort missions across Israel's small but contested airspace. The most capable piston fighter the IAF ever flew. Now the Bristol Beaufighter, Britain 1948. A twin-engine heavy fighter built for destruction, 4 20mm cannons, 6.303 machine guns, top speed 320 mph. Israel acquired only 3 examples during the War of Independence, operating them for mere months before retiring the type. Limited numbers meant limited impact, but the Beaufighter's firepower provided the IAF its heaviest hitting capability in those first desperate weeks. After that, the de Havilland Mosquito, written 1948. Twin Merlin engines, top speed 415 mph, constructed almost entirely from wood, which reduced radar reflection and simplified wartime production. Israel operated roughly 60 across a decade, deploying them in reconnaissance, ground attack, and night operations, fast enough to outrun most interceptors of its era. The Mosquito remained the IAF's most versatile multi-role platform well into the early 1950s. The piston era was ending. Arab air forces were modernizing fast. Israel needed jets and Britain had them. 2 aircraft defined this transition, giving the IAF its first taste of jet-powered combat capability. The de Havilland Vampire, written 1948, a single-engine twin-boom jet fighter, the second jet aircraft ever operated by the Royal Air Force. Israel acquired roughly 30 examples, top speed 548 mph. 1 de Havilland Goblin turbojet engine, 4 20mm Hispano cannons, used for airspace defense and ground attack through the early 1950s. During the 1956 Suez Crisis, IAF Vampires actively defended Israeli airspace against Egyptian air incursions. Now the Gloster Meteor F-8, written 1953, the first British jet fighter to enter IAF service as a frontline combat type. Israel acquired roughly 30 examples, top speed 598 mph, twin Rolls-Royce Derwent turbojets producing 3,500 pounds of thrust each, 4 20mm cannons, flew combat missions in the 1956 Sinai campaign against Egyptian forces. Outclassed by the Soviet MiG-15 it encountered, but it held the line until faster jets arrived. France became Israel's primary arms supplier through the 1950s. With Europe rearming and Arab states acquiring Soviet jets, Israel needed swept wings, supersonic capability, and modern avionics. Paris delivered all 3, and Israel flew every aircraft France offered. First up in this era, the Dassault MD-450 Ouragan, France 1955, France's first operational jet fighter and Israel's first modern swept-wing combat aircraft. Israel acquired 75 examples, naming it Tzukit Swallow, top speed 584 mph, single Rolls-Royce Nene turbojet, 4 20mm cannons. Deployed extensively in the 1956 Sinai campaign, conducting ground attack operations against Egyptian armor and positions, the aircraft that modernized the IAF overnight. Next, the Dassault Mystère 4A France 1955, a swept-wing transonic fighter representing a significant leap beyond the Ouragan. Israel acquired 60 examples, top speed 696 mph, approaching the sound barrier. single Hispano-Suiza Verdun turbojet producing 7,716 pounds of thrust, two 30mm DEFA cannons. Performed with distinction in the 1956 Suez War, downing Egyptian MiG-15s in air-to-air combat, the IAF's first genuinely transonic-capable fighter. Then came the Sud Aviation Vautour, France, 1957, a twin-engine jet operated by Israel in three distinct variants, light bomber, fighter, and night interceptor. Israel acquired 35 examples across all variants, top speed 686 mph, two SNECMA Adir turbojets, used aggressively in the 1967 Six-Day War, striking Arab airfields in the opening hours of Operation Focus. The most operationally versatile French aircraft the IAF ever flew. Now the Fouga CM170 Magister, France, 1957. Designed as a jet trainer, the Magister was pressed into actual ground attack combat during the 1967 Six-Day War, a trainer that fought a real war. Israel operated 80 examples, top speed 444 mph, twin Marboret turbojets, armed with two 7.62mm machine guns and underwing rockets. IAF Magisters destroyed Arab armor, artillery, and vehicles in direct battlefield attack missions. After that, the Dassault Supermarine B2, France, 1958, the first operational supersonic fighter produced in Western Europe, and Israel bought 36 of them. Top speed Mach 1.13, single SNECMA Adir 101G turbojet producing 9,920 pounds of thrust, two 30mm DEFA cannons plus air-to-air missiles, saw intense combat in the 1967 Six-Day War. Later re-engined with American J-52 turbojets, extending operational life well into the 1970s. One aircraft changed everything. One aircraft turned the Israeli Air Force from a capable regional force into a supersonic killing machine. One aircraft rewrote the history of aerial warfare in 6 days. This is that aircraft. The Dassault Mirage IIICJ, France, 1962. Israel acquired 72 examples, naming it Skyhawk Skyblazer, top speed Mach 2.2, single SNECMA Adir 9B turbojet producing 13,230 pounds of thrust, tailless delta wing, two 30mm DEFA cannons plus Shafrir air-to-air missiles. On June 5, 1967, IAF Mirage IIICJs destroyed the Egyptian, Syrian, and Jordanian air forces in under 3 hours. Estimated air-to-air kill ratio across IAF service, 12-1, the most dominant fighter in Israeli Air Force history. In 1967, France's President de Gaulle cut off all weapons supplies to Israel. The Mirage pipeline was dead. Israel needed a new supplier fast. The United States stepped in and the IAF was never the same again. First up in this era, the Douglas A-4 Skyhawk, United States, 1968. A lightweight subsonic carrier-based attack jet repurposed by Israel for land-based operations. Israel acquired 262 examples across multiple variants over decades, naming it IIICJ, Eagle, top speed 673 mph, single Pratt & Whitney J-52 turbojet, four 20mm cannons plus 9,900 pounds of external ordnance. Suffered devastating losses to Soviet-supplied SAMs in the 1973 Yom Kippur War. Rugged, simple, and irreplaceable for 47 years of continuous IAF service. Next, the McDonnell Douglas F-4E Phantom II, United States, 1969. Israel acquired 226 examples across all variants, naming it Kernes Sledgehammer, top speed Mach 2.2, twin General Electric J-79 turbojets producing 17,900 pounds of thrust each, one 20mm M61 Vulcan cannon plus 8 air-to-air missiles. Dominant through the War of Attrition and 1973 Yom Kippur War, IAF Phantom IIs recorded an air-to-air kill ratio of approximately 12.5-1 across total operational service. Retired 2004 after 35 years of combat. France had cut off weapons. The United States came with conditions. Israel drew one conclusion: it would build its own. What followed was the most ambitious indigenous military aviation program ever attempted by a nation of fewer than 4 million people. First up, the IAI Nesher, Israel, 1971. With France refusing to deliver ordered Mirage 5s after full payment, Israel reverse-engineered the design entirely from scratch, producing 61 aircraft domestically and naming it Nesher Vulture, top speed Mach 2, single SNECMA Adir 9C turbojet, two 30mm DEFA cannons. Deployed immediately in the 1973 Yom Kippur War, recording over 100 air-to-air kills against Arab fighter aircraft. Israel built what France refused to deliver. Next, the IAI Kfir. Israel 1975. Built on the Mirage airframe but powered by an American General Electric J79 turbojet, the same engine as the F-4 Phantom II. Israel produced 212 examples, naming it Kfir Lion Cub, top speed Mach 2.3, two 30mm DEFA cannons plus Python air-to-air missiles. Saw combat in Lebanon 1982 during Operation Peace for Galilee. The most advanced fighter Israel ever built entirely on home soil. Then came the IAI Lavi. Israel 1986, the most ambitious Israeli aviation program ever attempted, a fourth-generation Canard Delta multi-role fighter built entirely from scratch, single General Electric F-4 turbojet, fly-by-wire digital flight controls, projected top speed Mach 1.85, designed to replace the Kfir, Phantom and Skyhawk simultaneously with planned production of 300 aircraft. On August 30, 1987, the Israeli cabinet cancelled the program by a vote of 12 to 11. 3 prototypes flew, 1 dream died. The Lavi was dead, Israel's homegrown dream was over, but the technology, the engineers, and the ambition remained. From this point forward, the IAF would fly American airframes but fill them with Israeli electronics, Israeli weapons, and Israeli combat doctrine. The result was the most lethal small air force ever assembled. First up, the McDonnell Douglas F-15 Eagle, United States, 1976. Israel acquired 104 examples across all variants, naming it Baz Falcon. Top speed Mach 2.5 twin Pratt & Whitney F100 turbofans producing 23,770 pounds of thrust each, one 20mm M61 Vulcan cannon plus 8 air-to-air missiles. IAF F-15s have recorded 58 confirmed air-to-air kills against 0 losses in aerial combat, a 100-to-0 kill ratio unmatched by any fighter aircraft in history. Next, the General Dynamics F-16AB Netz, Hawk, United States 1980. Israel acquired 75 examples of the lightweight single-engine multi-role fighter, top speed Mach 2, single Pratt & Whitney F100 turbofan producing 23,770 pounds of thrust, one 20mm M61 Vulcan cannon. On June 7, 1981, 8 F-16A Netz aircraft destroyed Iraq's Osirak nuclear reactor in Operation Opera, the world's first surgical airstrike against a nuclear facility. Single airframe Netz 107 recorded 6.5 air-to-air kills, a world record. Then came the F-16CD Barak, Lightning, United States 1987. Israel acquired 102 Block 40 examples featuring significantly upgraded avionics, LANTIR night attack systems, and expanded weapons compatibility over earlier Netz variants. Top speed Mach 2, single F-100 PW-229 turbofan producing 29,100 pounds of thrust. One 20mm M61 Vulcan cannon, deployed extensively across Lebanon operations, Gaza campaigns, and deep strike missions into Syria. The IAF's most numerically significant fourth-generation multi-role platform across 3 decades of continuous combat operations. Now the Boeing F-15I Ram Thunder, United States 1998, Israel's dedicated deep strike platform, a heavily modified F-15E Strike Eagle variant built exclusively for the IAF. Israel acquired 25 examples, top speed Mach 2.5, twin Pratt & Whitney F-100 PW-229 turbofans, conformal fuel tanks providing unmatched range across the entire Middle East theater. One 20mm M61 Vulcan cannon plus 23,000 pounds of precision ordnance, used in long-range strikes against Hezbollah, Syrian weapons convoys, and allegedly Iranian nuclear infrastructure targets. After that, the Lockheed Martin F-16I Sufa Storm, United States 2004, the most advanced F-16 variant ever produced built exclusively for Israel. IAF acquired 102 examples, top speed Mach 2, single F-100 PW-229 turbofan producing 29,100 pounds of thrust. Conformal fuel tanks, Israeli-developed Elbit avionics suite, and indigenous electronic warfare systems installed throughout. One 20mm M61 Vulcan cannon, deployed in the 2006 Lebanon War, multiple Gaza operations, and confirmed long-range precision strikes deep inside Syrian territory across nearly 2 decades. Finally, the Lockheed Martin F-35I Adir Mighty One, United States 2016, the most advanced combat aircraft on Earth, and Israel was the first nation outside the United States to fly it in combat. Top speed Mach 1.6, single Pratt & Whitney F135 turbofan producing 43,000 pounds of thrust. Low observable stealth airframe integrated with Israeli-developed electronic warfare systems, indigenous weapons, and custom helmet-mounted displays. 75 ordered, used in strikes against Iranian targets in 2024, the apex of Israeli air power.